What's up guys, JK Disc Golf here, and today we have another only round. Today we're going to be using the Infinite Disc Inca, guys. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you so much for Infinite Disc for hooking me up with this disc. Again, this was part of the 25 disc package. Guys, we're coming down, we're doing a lot of these. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them. Today we're doing another Infinite brand, which is going to be the Inca. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this mid-range. I've never thrown it before. Hopefully it's everything you guys ever wanted. So hopefully we're going to jump into hole number one and show you what it's all about. So guys, right when I'm feeling this, it kind of gives me a rock vibe because you can tell this kind of indent and the bead. It kind of just feels like a rock in my hand. So it's in the I-blend plastic, which I really enjoy. I think it's super grippy. The numbers are 5503, so it kind of gives me a rock kind of number feel too. It's in, I think, max weight, 176, so it's around max weight. I'm gonna hold this one, throw this one in hyzer, see how it holds up. That's such a shame. Man, I'm so upset that Inca hit off the top of the basket. That's so upsetting. I thought I threw it pretty well too. The wind kind of dropped it a bit, but it kind of held the hyzer pretty well. It just held it. Didn't really flip, just kind of wanted to hold on to that hyzer all the way, which is pretty good. It holds the lines that you want it to. That's really good to see out of mid-range. Off the top of the basket in the woods. That's my luck. Stay in next time, baby. All right, this hole's 450 feet straight uphill, so really we're gonna throw the Inca as far as we possibly can and see if we can get some major distance on this disc. I was expecting it to kind of flip more, but it really just held straight and kept hyzering. The Inca kind of just hyzered out on me, so we're gonna go with some flex forehand stuff. Or just forced over it. Since after last throw it kind of hyzered out on me kind of unexpectedly, I'm gonna try to put a little bit more ante on it and see if I can get like a nice flex to it, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to flip this thing over, to be quite frank, but we'll see. Well, it kind of just held that turn over. I don't think it ever came back, but that could be because of this wind. So I'm not really too sure. This is awkward. This is a little awkward, but all right. The problem there was I really didn't put into consideration the left to right wind, which really was going to take the ante way more. So maybe if I would have thrown it flat, it would have been better. But the Inca kind of did seem like it was starting to come out, but it kind of just went with that ante. So probably should have thought about it a little bit better. May have not came back, but it bombed. Started to make a jump out with the Inca. The Inca seems like it can take a lot of torque. It seems like a mid-range that you can absolutely just smash, and you don't really have to worry about it turning and burning, which for a lot of people could be a great mid-range, because a lot of people have problems throwing a mid-range hard and it turning and never coming back. And the Inca seems like it can correct that problem. And it's got the 5 glide too, to where it actually wants to just bomb. It seems like it's gonna just go an absolute mile if you throw it. So to be honest, it seems like a good mid-range for the higher arm speeds and for someone who really wants to torque on their mid-range. Just gonna throw the Inca straight at the basket. The Inca actually is kind of overstable. Or it's pretty stable, I should say. I feel like the more I beat it in, the straighter it'll go. But right now, out the box, it really wants to fade. That shot kind of shows what I was kind of talking about, the Inca wanting to kind of take a little bit more speed to it. It is a 5-speed, so you have to throw it pretty hard to get the actual flight out of it. So I really kind of threw it soft on the shot because I didn't want to go super long. So that's kind of the reason it faded hard. But don't get me wrong, this disc wants to just fade. So either you got to get it beat in, or you got to put a lot of muscle into it to get the intended flight of it being straight, and it's always going to have a consistent fade to it. Okay, I just picked up because this was nowhere near where I thought it was. This probably was like 150 feet long. So this disc wants to go far, hence the 5 glide, right? So it's got a lot of fade to it, but it also wants to bomb. All right, this shot is an Anheuser Flex, so we're just gonna flex this, and it's honestly should work pretty good with the Inca. I didn't really get the flex back that I wanted, but it's up there. Well, I guess we're gonna see a sidearm now. Wow, that kind of held up nicely. Nowhere near the pin, but flipped up and went quite a few distance. I'll be honest, I'll probably never throw the Inca on a sidearm. It just isn't that disc for me. Personally, I feel like you gotta put it on a pretty decent hyzer to let it flip up and still get turn out of it. It's just not as consistent. For backhand, it seems pretty overstable, but for some reason, sidearm, you always get more spin, and discs seem to be, or fly, a little bit less stable. So personally, that's the reason I wouldn't throw the Inca on sidearm, but if it works for you, definitely do it. I'm just gonna bomb the Inca, see how far I can get it throw, and just see the natural flight of it. Probably sitting like 350, and you can tell the harder I throw it, the less it fades. So it isn't as overstable if you throw it kind of as hard as it's intended to be thrown. So like I've been saying, the Inca, it can take some torque to it. The harder you throw it, the less it's gonna have that huge fade. So like that, it can really take up headwind shots. I can throw it directly into a headwind and not worry about it just turning and burning. So that's kind of really confident to see, as well as if I want to just pump out a mid-range 350 and know it's gonna have a consistent fade, the Inca's perfect for that. I don't have to worry about any stupid fading or anything like that. I can just pretty much throw it as hard as I want and just be confident with it, which is super fun to see out of a mid-range. So the pin is 357 feet. We're about pin high for comparison. Final hole, tunnel shot. That was a good shot. All right, guys, let's talk about the Infinite Disc Inca. Guys, I actually really enjoyed this disc, and as you can tell, let's look at the profile. Like I said in the beginning, it kind of shaped like a rock. That's kind of what the feel I got right away, and this disc can take some power, guys. Don't be afraid to absolutely rip on this disc. I talked to a lot of people, and it's the reason I stay away a lot of the times from mid-ranges, is because I feel like when I actually try to rip them, they just turn and burn, and I absolutely hate that. The Inca is not one of those discs. You can absolutely rip it, especially if you just throw it flat, and this thing will just ride straight and still give you a consistent fade. As you guys can tell in that round, the softer I threw it, the more fade it would have, which is natural with the disc. But if I would just rip it, it would go like 85% of the way straight and then have a consistent fade to it still. So obviously if you beat this thing in, you can get some nice straight flights with it, and you don't have to worry about just flipping this disc over right away, which I know, like I said, a lot of people are scared of. So don't be afraid to do that, guys. Absolutely rip on the Inca. It's such a fun disc to throw, super consistent, and headwinds, you can trust this disc. So guys, don't be afraid to check out, head over to infinitedisc.com, check out the new Inca, guys. So much fun to throw, such a fun disc. Thanks Infinite Disc for sending it my way. I'm gonna be loving testing this disc even more, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell so you get notifications on all the new videos, and as always, guys, make sure to keep throwing.
I want to give a big thanks to everyone who supported JK Disc Golf over on Patreon. You guys are the homies. If you guys also want to check out and help out JK Disc Golf, head over to www.patreon.com/JK Disc Golf.